In this quick clip, we're going to look at creating our first Google Doc. We're going to look at opening up a document, naming the document. We're also going to do a tiny bit of word processing. We're going to make our first table, and we're going to put in a link to a website. First, to create, we go to the orange Create rectangle on the left-hand side. We select that, and we get a drop-down. The drop-down for document, hover, select, and boom. You'll notice at the top we have a URL address that is populating. It was blue while it was populating. One of the magic parts about Google Docs is that we are not making a document now that lives on the computer. It does not live on the school server. This lives now in the cloud, and this document we create has its own URL address. It's independent of any of the documents that you make. Now, to title the document, we're going to hover over the words Untitled Document. A box pops up, and we title our document. I'm making a document called Best District Ever. And boom, we've got our title. Now we're going to do a little bit of word processing. And as I start some word processing, I'd like to have you keep your eye on this area of the screen near the top. It says right now, all changes saved. Watch what happens as I start typing. Okay, while I was typing, the word saving popped up. The word saving popped up. Now it says all changes saved. Google Docs auto-saves every keystroke. It is incredible. No more lost documents if you lose power. No more lost documents if something crashes during the middle of one of your work sessions. Everything is saved automatically. This is fantastic. There is no way to save a document. It auto-saves. If I go to File, there's not even a choice to save a document. It's just not there. I'm going to do a little more typing. Let's say I'm going to put in some bullet answers. And I've done a little bit of word processing. Now let's say I'm going to insert a table. I go to the top, I select table, and I only have one choice here. I'm going to insert a table. To the right, I have a box that pops up. It's got some opaque cells. Right now, as I hover over the cells, it gives me some choices as to how big I want to make my table. Let's say I want to make a 2x5. I select, and there is my table. Let's say I'm doing something about grade levels of our elementaries. So I'm going to say school, and I'm going to say grade levels. And it's just like any other table that you type anywhere else. And let's say I'm going to type in, what do we have here, Lexington. I think they've got a preschool program. And I think we've got SES, and I think they're getting ready to have preschool. May not be functional yet. VES. And I've got a table. Now let's say that I erred and I wanted to add more cells or delete cells. Whenever I am live in a table, if I go back to table and select it, obviously I have many more choices and I can customize that table if in fact I've erred in my original plans. One thing I like to do is change the size a little bit. I don't like these monster tables, so I hover over the side line there and I can move that to whatever spot I want to hit. And there we go. I've got a nice little table. The last thing I want to share with you before we leave this clip is a little bit of information about inputting a link. A lot of times when we work on documents for our students, we want them to have live embedded links in the document. And so we're going to go up here to the chain link. It says Insert Link. Select that. There are 2 bits of information we need to add into this box. The first thing we're going to add is the text that we want to display in the document to identify where the link is. And I'm going to call this Best District Ever. And now the next thing I have to put in is a URL for the link. Okay, remember how we get a URL. We go up to the link that we want. Right now I have several tabs open. I'm going to open up the Scottsburg Middle School website link, and I have our URL address at the top. I click in the upper left, and I get a blue address. When that address is blue, I'm going to copy that address. On my computer, I hit Command C. And now I go back to my document and I click in the URL box and I go Command V, that is paste, and boom, that populated that URL address. I hit OK, and there it is, right in my document, best district ever. Now, if we want to double check, we can hover over that, we can select that, and right below is the web address. So I would hover down, select that, and we have gone directly where we wanted the kids to go. So just know that it is pretty simple to create a Google Doc, to save a Google Doc because it's auto-saving. You can make tables, you can word process, and you can even submit links. Right now I'm going to close this document. The way I close is I close out this tab at the top because remember I am on the internet. So I close this internet tab, and here I'm back to my home page, and what is at the top? The document I just created, Best District Ever. Thanks.